Hello everyone, this is Sukanya Roy and welcome back to the fifth lecture of Cell, the Unit of Life. So, in our previous lecture, we have studied about some of the important cell boundaries, that is cell membrane and cell wall, which covers the cell from outside, right? So, in this class, we are going to study about some of the important cell organelles present within the cell, which helps the cell to perform the essential functions. What is cell organelles? These are just like we are having the organs in our body, right, which performs different specialized functions. Similarly, the cells are also having some small organ-like structures termed as organelles. Very small organs are termed as organelles, which helps the cell to perform the different essential functions. So, one of the most important cell organelle which is present within our cell is termed as nucleus. Nucleus is also termed as the brain of our cell. Just like we are having our brain, and what is the function of our brain? All of you know, right? Brain actually helps to control all the vital functions of our body. Similarly, within the cell, the nucleus actually helps to control the cell, and it controls the vital functions of the cell. So, it is termed as the brain of the cell. So, nucleus is a spherical shaped organelle which is present in every eukaryotic cell. Its structure consists of a nuclear membrane, which is also termed as nuclear envelope, nucleoplasm, nucleolus and chromosomes. Here is a diagram. You can see it is termed as a nucleus. So, this one is the nuclear envelope, okay, or the nuclear membrane, which covers the nucleus from outside. In the nuclear membrane, you can see very small pore-like structures are there, right? So, these are termed as nuclear pores. This structure is the dense structure present within the nucleus. It is termed as nucleolus, and the ground substance of the matrix is termed as nucleoplasm. So, let us study about these structures in details. So, the nucleus consists of nuclear membrane, nucleoplasm, nuclear pores, chromosomes and nucleolus. So, what is nuclear membrane? The nuclear membrane is the boundary of the nucleus, that is, which surrounds the nucleus from outside, right? So, the nuclear membrane is a two-layered structure. Can you see? This one is the outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane. These two membranes together constitutes the nuclear membrane. And the space between these two membranes is termed as the perinuclear space. Then can you see the light pink colored substance is there? This is nothing but the matrix of the nucleus, which holds the structures inside the nucleus. This pink colored uh, gel-like substance is termed as nucleoplasm or karyoplasm. Okay, karyon means nucleus, and so nucleoplasm is also termed as karyoplasm or nuclear cell. Now, can you see some thread-like structures are present? These are nothing but the chromosomes. What are chromosomes? These are the thread-like structures which are packed together very tightly, okay, along with some of the important proteins termed as histones to form the chromatin reticulum. So, chromosomes are those structures which actually holds or contains our genetic material, that is DNA. And can you see the structure? This is termed as nucleolus. Okay, the main function of nucleolus too is to synthesize ribosomes. And what is the function of ribosomes? All of you know, we have discussed. Ribosomes are the sites or the places where proteins are synthesized within our cells. So, nucleus actually helps in the production of ribosomes. Okay. Okay, then we will study about the chromosomes. The chromosomes are the microscopic thread-like structure of the nucleus which carries the hereditary information or our genetic information in the form of genes. What is gene? Gene, you can see, is a part of DNA. Okay, gene is the actually coding or functional region of DNA which actually codes. Okay, so you can see here one diagram is given. This one is a cell. Okay, inside the cell, this structure is the nucleus, and inside the nucleus you can see this small structure is the nucleolus. Okay, already we have studied about it. And can you see some small structures are present? This one, these ones are the chromosomes. So this, it is magnified and shown here. This one is a chromosome. Chromosome is nothing but a packed, close packed structure which actually contains our genetic information, genes or DNA. Okay, so can you see here, if we unfold the chromosome, then we can see that this is our DNA or the genetic information, and a part of DNA is which actually codes it is termed as the gene. Clear? Now see, each chromosome has a constriction point called the centromere. That means this portion is termed as the centromere. Okay, and the centromere actually divides the chromosome into two parts. Okay, this part and this part. So the short arm of the chromosome is termed as the P arm and the long arm is termed as the Q arm. What is the arms? These are the arms. Okay, these two are the short arms and these two are the long arms. So the short arm is termed as the P arm and the long arms are termed as the Q arm. Okay, then the location of the centromere on each chromosome gives the chromosome its characteristic shape and can also be used to help describe us the location of specific genes. That means the presence of centromere actually helps us to locate the different areas or the different locations of the specific genes. Okay, so this is all about the structure of chromosomes which are present packed inside our nucleus. Clear? Which carries the DNA or our genetic information. Next, classification of chromosomes based on the position of centromere. What is centromere? Already we have seen centromere is nothing but the constriction point of the chromosomes, okay, which actually divides the chromosome into two arms, short arm and long arm. So based on the position of centromere, the chromosomes are classified into four broad types. Okay, the first one is termed as metacentric chromosome, then submetacentric chromosome, acrocentric chromosome and telocentric chromosome. So what is metacentric chromosome? In this type of chromosome, the centromere is situated exactly at the middle. As a result, the centromere divides this type of chromosome into two equal arms. This one and this arms are equal. So here P arm and Q arm both are equal in size. Clear? Here you can see submetacentric chromosomes. These are those chromosomes where the centromere is placed slightly away from the center, okay, and which divides the chromosome into slightly different two arms. One is P arm, this arm is slightly smaller, and Q arm is the slightly longer one here. This one you can see the acrocentric chromosome where the centromere is placed towards the almost towards the end, okay, and which divides the chromosome into two very different sized arms. Here the P arm is very small compared to the Q arm. Okay, so it is termed as acrocentric chromosome. And in case of the fourth one, that is telocentric chromosome, here the centromere is placed at the tip, okay, at one of the end, and so it is termed as telocentric chromosome. The ends of the chromosomes are termed as telomeres. As a result, here the centromere is placed at the telomere, that is at one of the ends, and so it is termed as telocentric chromosome. Clear? Okay. Now let's study about the functions of nucleus. The functions of nucleus is the main function is storage of genetic material. Already we have studied. The nucleus helps to store the genetic materials, that is our genes, in the form of DNA. Then it controls the different vital activities of our cell. Okay, it also stores the proteins and RNA. Okay, then nucleus is a site of transcription in which messenger RNA are produced for protein synthesis. Within the nucleus, a type of RNA termed as mRNA is produced, which helps in protein synthesis. We will discuss about this in details afterwards. Okay. Here, the exchange of the hereditary molecules actually takes place between the nucleus and the rest of the cell. Then, production of ribosomes are also occur in the nucleus, within the nucleolus, right? So, these are the important functions of nucleus. You can just go through them. The next cell organelle which we will study about in today's lecture is mitochondria. Okay, so mitochondria is also a very important cell organelle present within the cell, and it is termed as the powerhouse of cell. Powerhouse here means that mitochondria is actually involved in the production of energy, okay, and also it stores the energy in the form of ATP. and so it is termed as the powerhouse of cells. So mitochondria are generally, can you see this diagram, rod-like in shape, rod shape or sausage shaped in structure, and they help the production of energy required for the cellular activities. That means our cell performs different types of functions, right, different types of activities, and all such activities requires energy. Where this energy comes from? This energy actually comes from mitochondria, because mitochondria helps in the production of energy, okay, from our food, whatever we take, and it stores the energy in the form of ATP, and so it is termed as the powerhouse of cells. Now let us see about the structure of mitochondria. So the mitochondria is also having a two membrane structure like nucleus, okay. This one is the outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane. Can you see? Here the outer membrane is a simple one, okay, just which covers the mitochondria from outside, while the inner membrane is formed into different folds like structure, right? So you can see mitochondria have two membranes, an outer membrane and an inner membrane. These membranes are made up of phospholipids and different types of proteins, okay. Then the outer membrane is a smooth one, okay, which just encloses the mitochondria, while the inner membrane are organized into some folds, okay, some fold like structure. These folds are termed as cristae, okay. So cristae contains some important structures termed as oxysomes or elementary particles or F0 F1 particles. Can you see some button like structures are there? These ones, these are termed as the F0 F1 particles. It is enlarged and shown here. This type of structures are present, racket shaped structures. These are termed as oxysomes or elementary particles or F0 F1 particles. What is their function? They help in the production of ATP, okay. Then the space between the outer membrane and the inner membrane is termed as intermembrane space. Can you see one space is present between the outer and inner membrane? This space is termed as the intermembrane space, and the matrix which is present inside the mitochondria is termed as the mitochondrial matrix. Clear? Next, the matrix also contains some important structures like DNA molecules, important proteins and ribosomes. The mitochondrial, let me tell you, contains its own DNA, okay, termed as mitochondrial DNA. So this is all about the structure of mitochondria, okay. So I hope all of you have understood. It consists of two membranes, the outer membrane and the inner membrane. Then the inner membrane are organized into some fold-like structures. These folds are termed as cristae, okay. So you can see these folds are termed as cristae, and this cristae contains some racket shaped structures. They are termed as F0 F1 particles or oxysomes or elementary particles, which helps in the production of ATP, okay. Then the space between the outer membrane and inner membrane is termed as intermembrane space. Then the space inside the mitochondria, this one, which consists of all the important structures, okay, within the mitochondria is termed as the mitochondrial matrix. And also the matrix consists of the mitochondrial DNA. This one, can you see the blue colored structure? This one is the DNA and some important proteins and ribosomes, okay. So this is all about the structure of mitochondria. Now let us see some of the important functions of mitochondria. First of all, it is termed as the powerhouse of cell. Why? Because it helps to produce and store energy within our cell, as I already said. Mitochondria play a significant role in the production of energy currency, and it stores energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. Next, it is the main site of cellular aerobic respiration. All of us perform cellular respiration, right? So the main place where the respiration actually takes place is the mitochondria. Next, mitochondria can also store some calcium ions, and it helps to maintain the cell balance, okay. Then it helps in apoptosis. What is apoptosis? It is a programmed cell death. When a cell is injured or something like that, then it actually programs the cell for death, and during this process is termed as apoptosis, and the mitochondria helps in this type of process. So these are the important functions of mitochondria. So this is all about today's class. We will discuss the rest of the topics in the next class. Thank you for listening to my class. Bye bye.